to be talking about the Sheriff's Department. It was on a 3-meeting type deal, and it was 9:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock. It was supposed to start on the 17th and go for the 3 Tuesdays, I think it was. And I was called last night saying only 3 people had signed up for it, so we didn't think it was worthwhile. But she said they charge $20 to participate, and it's $10 for the first session, and any session after that, it's an additional $5. So it came up to $20 for this OLLI course, which is supposed to be for people that are 50 years or older. They pay a dues, and then they pay a little extra for any type of program that's presented. Some of them can be just one session, that might be an hour or 2 hours or whatever. So they pay individually for those. But she said January may not be the best month to do it. Older people, not knowing what the weather conditions are going to be, may not be able to show up, even though it was given in the morning rather than in the evening. For those people who didn't want to drive at night. So she said maybe in the spring, okay, or summer, or even early next fall, we may offer it again. Now, at some point in time, they do give classes free. There's no tuition. So anyway, it was a good start to try to educate people about county government, but
I think we'll continue to work on the slideshow, because then if you decide to do something during County Government Week, you have that slideshow available, and then we can update it. I'm not going to make it Stephanie's top priority, but
it was, but now it's
as she has time, we can do a slide here, there, and get that done for you. So.
I will say eggs and issues on Thursday morning, tomorrow morning, at 8:30. The 4 members from District 1, the representatives from District 1, and the 2 of us are supposed to be moderated by George Epstein on the eggs and issues. I have no idea. They want to know what our function is and what our budget is, where the money, taxpayers' monies are going. So they won't get into any detail as far as what county government does, but it will explain the budget.
Where is that taking place?
At the Economic Council site there in Conway. Okay.
How come only 2 of you?
I think that's all that was asked. I mean, it's only those people in District 1 representatives that were asked.
Yeah, but why only 2 commissioners? That's not right.
Call the Economic Council. Call Jack Cutting. Find out why.
I'll do that.
You asked about the health insurance?
Yes.
We need to reconvene our
that
group.
Committee?
When is the delegation meeting next?
The 23rd.
Okay.
The 30th, the full delegation.
The full delegation, because we have Representative McConkey's on our committee.
Yeah.
So maybe that day, it's a Monday, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Would you want to do it after the?
That's right, you're on that committee.
Yeah,
okay.
After the delegation committee would be good.
On the 30th?
On the 30th, yeah. So we can, I'll send out an email. And I'm recruiting somebody to represent the nursing home, one of the union people, so we're trying to get representation from them.
Okay.
Okay, so. And I have 2 proposals now, and I'm looking to get a 3rd. There was another company that was developing a trust sometime in January, so I'm going to touch base with her and see where they're at with that, so that they can quote us for for that.
Proposal for what?
For health insurance.
Health insurance.
Oh, okay. Say a trust?
Yeah, trust. Like a risk pool, like Primex. They're developing that kind of.
Have you got anything you want to add regarding that health insurance? Any other people that should be invited as a member of that committee?
I just think as many departments in the county should have representation at the table, but I'm not sure what the format of this one is going to be, but I imagine a bit of it's exploratory, just figuring out what's changed. I mean, you know, we had stuff on the table last year, but insurance policies changed from year to year. So
right, and we chose a really good policy
Right,
last
yeah.
year that kept our rates
Yeah.
equal. What we're looking to do, you know, well, we have 2 quotes, so we can, I think the first meeting, we
Right.
can kind of regroup, look at those quotes.
Right.
And give you the status of that third trust.
Yeah. Well, I mean, New Hampshire's a tough state to do insurance in because there's 2 providers for health insurance basically in the whole state.
Right.
So the only way you get a savings is somebody that's willing to represent one of those and thinks, I can get these costs down so I can charge you less.
Yeah,
Well, good luck.
and I think we'll end up doing the same thing we
Yeah.
did last year, is coming in at.
Don't forget the way that we were successful in moderating the cost of health insurance the last time we did this was to bring into the calculation the pay of the recipient.
Mhm.
So if we could reduce the cost of the health insurance by X, but their benefit was reduced, or their participation was increased through deductible or through
Right.
copay, increasing their pay to accommodate for that increase in the copay or the
Right.
deductible. And it actually ended up saving us, I think, close to $100,000.
Right. Well, yeah, and the other aspect that very few people get about insurance is pre-tax money. So everything that you take as an insurance benefit is diminished from your retirement.
I think we should add deeds, somebody from deeds to that committee,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
from the county attorney.
Yeah.
That's a good idea to have
Yep.
those other 2.
Well, we had 3, I think when we did that before, we had either 3 or 4 meetings. I think at 2 of them, there was one representative from the nursing home, and then at another meeting, there was a representative from
Yeah.
the jail, but they were never in the room at the same time.
Right, it's hard, it was hard
Right.
because of the schedule.
Oh,
I think you'll
yeah.
find that we'll have better representation from the jail.
Right, good.
Yeah, so hopefully.
I would hope that that committee would look at, there's been rumors going around that we should be paying for those people who are not taking our health insurance but are on their spouse's health insurance.
You mean, so they're not taking the county's insurance?
They're not taking the county's
They want a
insurance.
reimbursement.
Excuse me?
They want a reimbursement for what they're not charging?
They want some dollar figure. They claim, you know, that they're saving the county money because they're not on the county policy. I'm saying it's their choice.
Yeah, look at it this way, it's if the county policy was better than your spouse's, who do you think you'd be on?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But I don't think we should be paying for people who are not taking our insurance that are on their spouse's insurance.
I tend to,
And it's something you may want to discuss.
What do
If
you
you
mean
start
paying for?
If you start to do that, then you end up having people who are younger saying, we don't want the health insurance, we want the money.
Well,
I mean, it's a very slippery slope. What you
Yep.
want is a healthy workforce doing a lot of work.
yeah. And the other thing it affects is I believe that insurance companies look for a pool of people. And if we don't meet that minimum number of people in the plan, then we would get a higher rate.
yeah.
So, you know, we need to get as many people on our insurance plan to make up so that we have that pool to get a reduced rate, okay? It's just something that we need to look at. Okay, got anything else?
That's all I had in this.
You got something?
Yeah, Robin sent me a letter in response to my right to know request saying that the commissioners could take action today, so I'm just hoping that's something that could be taken care of.
I thought that you said the other day in the minutes that, if I read to the minutes, about his right to know request that an attorney was looking at it. Didn't you say that? I thought you make a statement like that.
Yeah.
And, so who's looking at those now? Because we have all the September minutes, so I think we can look at it and see what we can release. The approved minutes we need to look at.
Okay,
So we can start to give them
Since
thought in
this-
September.
since this issue was brought up, those of you that were here last week, we called a non-public session. And because this issue has been brought up, and because elected officials are not, elected officials are excluded from the right to know law, we had a grievance come to the commissioners, and I got to be careful on how I go about this. A grievance has been filed by a county employee against Commissioner Kenny for conduct. That came Wednesday morning. It was on my desk when I got here. We called a non-public session that was announced in a regular meeting to discuss this grievance, because we have a policy, a local policy, not a union policy, that we need to react to a grievance within a 10-day or a limited time period. So I immediately had a non-public session. As a result of that, the commissioners felt that we were in the position to do a study or to investigate, and felt that it was fair to all concerned that we hire a private attorney. So we have hired a private attorney. How do we come about that private attorney? Back in the spring, I don't remember the date, we did interview 2 private attorneys to handle this kind of a matter, where it was, I'm saying it was beyond our control or not fair for us to make the judgment. And so a motion was made to hire one of those attorneys to investigate. That's what we have done. Now, that all said, I've been advised by that attorney that this is a personnel matter and that we will have no further comments on that matter. End of conversation. I won't answer any comment or make any comments on any questions that you have. Go ahead.
Can you
Well,
also...
Go ahead.
Under right to know, I understand what you're saying about that an elected official is not protected on a privacy right under right to know.
Correct.
An employee has a right to protection, but they also have, an employee has a right to have whatever grievance or hearing that they're involved in held in public. So
that's right.
Is the employee on the record as saying they want this thing
I have asked the employee 2 questions. One, do they want to have it public? And number 2, we'd like to have an extension on our deadline so that if it takes longer to investigate the case, we would be covered. And I haven't received anything in writing from that employee regarding those 2 items. Yes, sir. Mr. Brown.
But this situation, didn't you just say this happened in non-public?
Yeah, but in non-public, a elected official is not covered.
I understand
under
that.
the.
But if it happened in non-public, how did it become public if it happened in non-public?
Because an elected official is not covered under the under the right to know law.
I understand that,
Yes.
but that material hasn't been disseminated yet, has it? Because the request was just made again for that information. So if this happened in non-public, then who was at the non-public meeting? And someone at that non-public meeting must have disseminated the information in a non-public meeting, and that could even be quite possibly illegal, giving out information of a non-public meeting.
There were 3 commissioners at a meeting and 1 minute taker.
No, I don't
There was
think-
no minute taker.
It was just the 3 of us.
Well, there was no
You
minute.
would
Oh,
take
you're
minute.
talking about, no, he is asking, I think what he's asking, he wants to have a right to know request demonster, and it was public, it was not public.
Oh, I didn't.
How that it can become public about a commissioner is involved. We had meetings where non-public, where we have a minute take and 3 commissioners, and non-public information is leaking out. I think that is his point, what he's making. So he asks, how is it leaking out? There is nothing been said how non-public information is getting out.
What non-public?
I don't know, what non-public information?
Because
can
Damon
have?
Steer precisely asked